video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about all things pre-op diet. So I'm now in my second week of my pre-op diet and my surgery is just a few days away. So what I wanted to talk about in this video is what I've been eating, how I've been preparing my OptiFast products, what I've been having for my actual meal, and some little tips and tricks for surviving the pre-op period. Now, everybody's pre-op is going to be a little bit different. So if you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that I am doing 2 weeks of pre-op diet, and that is going to be 2 OptiFast products a day. So everyone, as I said, everyone's is going to be different. Your pre-op diet may be a lot longer, or you might be doing 3 OptiFast products a day. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Okay, so first things up is breakfast. So every morning for breakfast, I've been having either a chocolate or a coffee shake. So this morning I'm just gonna have a chocolate one. So they just come in these sachets. So all I do is I add some ice. I do all my shakes in this NutriBullet. I highly recommend having some sort of blender. It does make the texture of the smoothies a lot nicer. And I find that even ice just makes it a bit more frappe and makes the texture a little bit more palatable. So I just add some ice to the bottom of that. And then I have been adding some coffee. So this is obviously completely optional. I just find that it takes away some of that artificial sweetness and artificial flavor. You can use cold brewed coffee, like in a percolator. That's what I have actually been using, but I'm out of that today. So I'm just gonna be using a little bit of instant. So I'm just gonna add 2 teaspoons of the instant coffee grounds. Then I'm just gonna put in the OptiFast, and then to that I'm going to add some cold water. So I've actually been adding a lot more water than you need to. Bit of a funny story, I was adding just how much I thought, not really measuring it, and then my husband made me one and he measured it all properly, and I thought, oh, I'm actually using a lot more water than that, but I did actually check to make sure that it wasn't going to interrupt with the nutrients or anything, which I didn't think it would, but it doesn't. So you can add as much water as you like. Obviously, you still need to finish the whole shake. So if you're adding too much water that you're not finishing the whole thing, that's a problem. So just make sure that you're adding enough water to make it nice for you, but that you're still finishing the whole shake. Okay, so once all that is in there, I'm just going to whiz it up in the blender. Okay, so that is all whizzed up now. So I'm just going to take, as I said, I always add way too much water, so it might not all fit in this cup, but I'll just put it in another cup and drink that as well. So this cup is from Luxy Cup. I'll link them down below. I've had this for ages because I used to always have smoothies for breakfast anyway. And so when I was on my way to work or going for a morning walk, I would put everything in here and then drink it on the way. So as you can see, there's a tiny little bit left. And as I said, you do need to drink the whole thing. So I'll just pop that in another glass, or I'll pour it in a little bit later. But that is basically it. So pop the top on. Obviously you don't need one of these fancy cups. You can just use any glass that you have at home. That's it, we're done. Okay, so it's now lunchtime, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to be making for lunch today. So each day I've been having either a bar or a soup for lunch. Now obviously a bar, I don't really need to show that on video because you just open the bar and you eat it. My favorite one of these bars has been the cereal one. I find that the other two have sort of a strange texture, but the cereal one is quite nice. So, but for today, we're going to be making one of these soups. Okay, so all I do to prepare these soups is I just open it up, pour the powder into a bowl, and then to the bowl, I just add a cup of hot water. Sometimes I add a little bit more depending on how hungry I am. So I'm just going to add probably another half cup of water. Okay, And then I'm just going to use this little whisk just to stir it all through. You could put this through a shaker. I did do it once in the blender, but I found that it made it really foamy. And once I heated it up in the microwave, it just wasn't very nice. So I found just sort of mixing it with a whisk, just getting rid of all those lumps. Once you've mostly got all the lumps out, once you heat it in the microwave, it will help with dissolving the powder as well. So once you've mostly got it all dissolved, I actually just add a little bit of tamari. So this is just like a light soy sauce. So I just add probably about 2 teaspoons worth. Give it another stir through. I just find it tastes a lot better with just a little bit of tamari. And that is something that I'm allowed on the pre-op diet. So it's not a cheat. Okay, so now I'm just going to heat this up for 1 minute at a time. So I'm going to put it in the microwave for 1 minute, and then I'll stir it again with my whisk, and then put it in for another minute to make sure that it's really hot. I do find it's winter here at the moment in New South Wales, so I'm finding that it cools down quite quickly, and it sort of tends to be a bit cold by the time I actually finish eating it, so I like to make it really hot. Okay, so that's the soup done. So I've heated it up for 2 minutes in the microwave, giving it a good stir with the whisk in between, and now it's ready to eat. So you can see here, that's basically what it looks like. So I'll just finish this up. It takes me about half an hour to eat it, and then I'll see you at dinner time. Okay, so in terms of snacks during the pre-op phase, the only snack that I've really been having, because you're not really allowed to have anything else, is just this diet jelly. So this is just, I just get this from Woolworths or Coles. This one's a vanilla berry flavor. That is my favorite. And it's only 7 calories per serve. So you get 4 serves per sachet, and there's 2 sachets in the packet. So I've just been making that up, and then that's about 1 serve. And then I've just been having that as a snack, usually after dinner, but sometimes if I'm really feeling peckish and want to have something, I'll have some through the day as well. So for dinner tonight, I'm going to be just doing a really simple stir fry. So I've got some bean sprouts, some yellow capsicum, which I've just finely sliced, and some carrot, and then I've got some broccoli here as well. So I'm going to put them in a wok and stir fry them. I'm not going to use any oil because we're not allowed to use any oil. So I'm just going to dry stir fry them, and then I'll cook up some 2 chicken thighs as well. And then I'll add that all together with some garlic, some chili, and some ginger. I'm also going to be using some of this. So this is the Slendia rice that I talked about in my last video. So this is actually made out of the Kojak vegetable. And so it's sort of counted as part of your vegetable allowance. And it's just a good substitute for rice. So all we do with these is you just soak it, drain it out of its packet, and then soak it in some hot water. And then you can add that to your stir fry as your rice substitute. Okay, so I'll just give you a close look at the veggies. So we've got the broccoli, the bean sprouts, the capsicum, and the carrot. So I'm going to add all those to the fry pan. So in here, I've just got the garlic, the chili, and the ginger. And then I'm going to chuck the vegetables in. Okay, so the chicken's cooking away in there. Just cooking its own juices. And I've just added into the chicken, or onto the chicken I should say, some of this Herbamar sea salt. It just adds a little bit more flavour. So I've just sprinkled that on the chicken. And then in here we've got all the veggies cooking. I've added a little bit of water just to help steam them a little bit, get them cooking. So I'm not using any oil, so just helps a little bit. So they're all cooking away there. Okay, so I've just added in the soy sauce into the vegetables, and then I'm also just going to add, sorry, it's hard to do one-handed, just going to add in about a teaspoon of curry powder, just this curry powder here, just to add a little bit more flavour. Okay, so the veggies and the chicken are both done now. So this is the Slendia rice. So I'm going to add that straight into the vegetables. It's just been draining there. You just soak it in boiling water for a couple of minutes, and then I've just had it draining. So I'm going to add that straight in here. One packet is 2 serves, and I've got 2 chicken thighs in there. So this is basically going to be 2 meals. So I'll have the other one probably for dinner tomorrow night. So I just mix that through. Now, one thing that I've found with the Slendia rice is that it doesn't absorb any liquid like normal rice. So you sort of don't want it to be, if you don't want a really saucy dish, the Slendia rice is not going to absorb the liquid like a normal rice would. So yeah, so then I'm just going to add, so I'll pop that into a bowl and then I'll put in half the chicken. Okay, so that's done. So that what we've got there is the vegetable mixture with the Slendia rice, and then I've just topped it with half of the chicken. And then I'm just going to top it with some coriander. I know a lot of people don't like coriander, but I love it, so. And that's it. That is dinner. And that's it. So that's a wrap for everything that I ate in a day during this pre-op period. So breakfast, lunch, and snacks are pretty much the same every day. Sometimes I'll have a bar for lunch instead of the soup, but mostly it's pretty much the same. So the only thing that differs more frequently is the dinner. So another great meal that we did was chow mein mince. I'll pop a photo of what it looked like up here. Basically all that went into that was some lean beef mince with some cabbage, some carrots, some zucchini, and then a chow mein spice mix. So that all went in. Now, obviously, chow mein mince usually has rice in it, and I can't have rice, so I just took my portion out before the rice went in, and then Jordan, my husband, put the rice in for his dish. So that was a really great one as well. Had heaps of leftovers and was very tasty. So that's another good option for dinners while you're on the pre-op diet. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video and you got some tips and what it's like to be on pre-op diet. As I mentioned, I'm in my 2nd week of pre-op with only a few days left till my surgery. So 24 hours before my surgery, I have to be on a clear liquids diet and then no food or drink for 2 hours before my surgery. So it's getting very real now. I'll see you soon. Bye.